Rick's 1979 Dodge Macho Power Wagon from Simon & Simon wasn't just a truck, it was a television icon that production nearly destroyed filming chase scenes. Dodge only made the Macho package for 2 years before killing it off forever. And the show actually rotated through multiple identical trucks because they kept breaking them during stunts. But why did the producers specifically choose a truck that was already discontinued when filming started? What made this particular Power Wagon survive when every other TV vehicle got scrapped? And which specific detail on Rick's truck was illegal in California? These are 20 weird facts about Rick's Power Wagon that will blow your mind. Number 20. The wrong city deception. Every single episode showed Rick Simon cruising through San Diego in that bright red Dodge, but here's the kicker, they never actually filmed there. The entire series was shot around Universal City in Los Angeles, with the production crew dressing up LA streets to look like San Diego. They'd hang fake street signs, bring in palm trees on trucks, and even paint curbs to match San Diego's color coding. The Power Wagon spent its entire TV life pretending to be somewhere it never actually went. One crew member later admitted they chose specific LA intersections because they looked more San Diego than actual San Diego streets. The most famous chase scene through downtown San Diego was actually filmed in Burbank at 3 in the morning. They had to digitally remove the Hollywood sign from one shot where it accidentally appeared in the truck's side mirror reflection. Number 19, the Factory Freak Show. The Macho Power Wagon wasn't some custom job thrown together for television. It was Dodge's own factory-built insanity from their adult toys division. Yes, that was the actual internal name Chrysler used for their special editions department. These guys were responsible for the Lil Red Express, the Warlock, and the Macho, all designed to appeal to buyers who wanted their trucks to look like Hot Wheels cars. The Macho package added almost $2,000 to the base price, which was astronomical for 1979. You got massive decals covering every panel, blackout trim, special wheels, and a color-keyed interior that screamed the late 70s. Dodge executives thought they'd sell thousands. They moved less than 2,000 total before canceling the program. The marketing department blamed the name, claiming Macho alienated female buyers. The real problem? These trucks got 8 miles per gallon during the second oil crisis. Number 18, the Impossible Badge Mystery. Eagle-eyed fans have spent decades arguing about which specific trim badges appear on Rick's truck, and here's why they'll never agree. The truck changed badges between scenes. The prop department had a box of random Dodge emblems they'd slap on wherever something fell off during filming. In Season 2, Episode 4, the truck has a Power Wagon badge on the tailgate. 3 scenes later, it says Dodge Ram. By Episode 5, it's back to Power Wagon. The continuity supervisor supposedly kept a Polaroid board of which badges went where, but it got lost when someone spilled coffee on it. One of the stunt trucks had completely different badging from the hero vehicle, including a 440 Magnum emblem, even though the truck had a 360. The props guy who installed it didn't know the difference between engine sizes and thought it looked cooler. Number 17, the suicide suspension. The Power Wagon's most dangerous feature wasn't the massive push bar or the tendency to roll over. It was the modified suspension that made every jump a potential disaster. The stunt coordinator raised the truck 3 inches for better camera angles, but this completely destroyed the factory geometry. The front shocks would bottom out on any jump over 2 feet, sending metal-on-metal impacts straight through the frame. 3 different stunt drivers refused to do a particular jump in Season 3 because they could see stress cracks forming in the frame rails. They did it anyway, with a rookie driver who didn't know better. The truck's frame snapped in half on landing, but they kept the shot in the episode because it looked dramatic. The driver spent 6 weeks in traction. Number 16. The Hidden Automatic Scandal. Every piece of Simon & Simon literature claims Rick's truck had a manual transmission because it fit his tough guy image, but the main hero truck was actually an automatic. Gerald McRaney couldn't drive stick. He'd failed the manual transmission test 3 times during pre-production, grinding the gears so badly on one attempt that they had to replace the entire clutch. The producers didn't want to delay filming, so they found an automatic-equipped Macho and had the prop department install a fake stick shift that didn't connect to anything. When Rick's shown shifting gears, he's just moving a disconnected lever, while the real automatic transmission handles everything. The sound department added manual transmission noises in post-production. McRaney finally learned to drive stick in Season 4, but by then, they'd established the fake shifting shots as part of the show's style. Number 15, the Burbank Backlot Ghost. After Simon & Simon wrapped in 1989, one of the Power Wagons should have been crushed or auctioned, but it kept appearing in the background of other Universal productions throughout the 90s. Nobody officially owned it. The truck would show up in employee parking lots, move between sound stages, and appear in random backlot locations, always with a full tank of gas and current registration stickers. Security footage from 1994 shows it driving through the lot at 3 a.m. with no driver visible. A Universal electrician claimed he'd been using it for lunch runs for 5 years without knowing who actually owned it. The vehicle identification number didn't match any studio property records. In 2001, it vanished overnight and was never seen again. A Reddit post in 2019 claimed someone spotted it in a Riverside storage facility, still wearing the push bar and faded macho stripes. Number 14, the illegal California Crusher. That iconic push bar that defined Rick's aggressive driving style? Completely illegal in California since 1973, the state vehicle code specifically banned frame-mounted push bars on civilian vehicles after a series of pedestrian fatalities. The show got around this by claiming the trucks were special-purpose vehicles for stunt work, but they regularly drove them on public roads between locations. The California Highway Patrol pulled over the picture truck 6 times during the first season. Each time the production's lawyer would show up with paperwork claiming it was a movie prop, not subject to vehicle regulations. This worked until an off-duty officer recognized the truck at a gas station, with McCraney driving it to lunch. The resulting fine was $1,200, which CBS refused to pay, leading to a 3-day production shutdown while lawyers sorted it out. Number 13, the engine nobody talks about. Everyone assumes Rick's Power Wagon packed a big block 440, but the truth is much less impressive and way more weird. The Hero truck had a 318 V8, Chrysler's smallest available V8, because it was the only running Macho the producers could find in Los Angeles. They tried to swap in a 440 for more impressive burnouts, but the engine mounts were different, and the bigger motor wouldn't clear the power steering box. Instead, they installed a fake blower scoop on the hood and had the sound department dub in big block noises. The 318 was so underpowered that they had to film hill climbs on slight downward slopes to maintain speed. For one chase scene, they attached a hitting cable to pull the truck up a steep grade because it couldn't make it under its own power. Number 12, the two-tone paint disaster. The Macho's signature red over black paint scheme looked great on camera, but was a nightmare to maintain. The red paint was a special order fleet color called Bright Red, which Dodge discontinued in 1980. When the truck needed touch-ups, the painters had to custom mix the color by eye. By season 3, there were 17 different shades of red on various body panels. The black lower portion was even worse. It was supposed to be a satin finish, but depending on which truck and which paint job, it ranged from flat primer black to glossy showroom shine. One episode features a continuity error where the truck goes from matte to glossy black between commercial breaks because they switched trucks mid-scene. The paint department eventually gave up trying to match colors and just resprayed the entire truck every 6 episodes. Number 11, the mysterious missing winch. Pre-production photos show Rick's truck with a massive worn 8274 winch mounted in the custom bumper, rated for 12,000 pounds of pulling force. This winch appears in exactly 1 episode, the pilot, before vanishing forever. Why? During the first week of filming, a cable snapped under load and whipped back, missing McCraney's face by inches and shattering the windshield. The insurance company threatened to cancel the production's policy if they kept using the winch for stunts. The producers removed it but left the mounting plate visible in the bumper. Sharp-eyed viewers can spot the empty winch pocket in every episode after the pilot. The removed winch ended up on a crew member's personal Jeep, where it remains to this day, still wearing a property tag that says Simon & Simon do not remove. Number 10, the stunt double Frankenstein. The primary stunt truck wasn't even a real Power Wagon, it was some convincers. It was 3 different trucks welded together. After destroying 2 Machos in the first season, the stunt team built a Frankenstein from a 1977 standard Power Wagon frame, a 1979 Macho body they found in a junkyard, and a 1981 front clip from a completely different truck. The hood didn't line up properly, so they used bungee cords painted body color to hold it down during jumps. The doors were from different years and wouldn't seal properly, filling the cab with dust during desert scenes. This hybrid couldn't pass any safety inspection, but since it was registered as a special construction vehicle, it didn't need to. The California DMV had no category for television Frankenstein truck, so they registered it as agricultural equipment. The Franken truck outlasted all the genuine Power Wagons and was still jumping ravines in the final season. Number 9. The $1 Million Mistake. In Season 4, Episode 12, there's a scene where Rick's truck crashes through a mansion's front entrance. What viewers didn't know was that they crashed through the wrong mansion. The location manager mixed up addresses and sent the stunt team to 1247 Benedict Canyon instead of 1274. The homeowner, a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, was in surgery when his security company called to report that a red truck had just destroyed his $10,000 mahogany doors, taken out a chandelier worth $40,000, and crashed into a Basquiat painting valued at $800,000. The studio's insurance initially refused to pay because the damage was intentional, even though it was the wrong house. The lawsuit dragged on for 3 years. CBS ended up paying $1.2 million in damages plus legal fees. The footage was too expensive to waste, so they used it in the episode anyway, digitally changing the house number in post. Number 8. The Secret Diesel Experiment. For exactly 3 episodes in Season 2, Rick's Power Wagon was diesel-powered, and nobody told the actors. The transportation coordinator swapped in a Cummins 5.9 diesel from a Dodge military truck to save on fuel costs during a location shoot in Arizona. The engine was so loud that all dialogue had to be dubbed in post-production. Jameson Parker complained that the cab filled with black smoke every time they accelerated, but the director thought he was being a diva. The diesel truck had completely different handling characteristics, causing McCraney to miss his marks in several scenes. They told him he was overthinking the driving. The experiment ended when someone put gasoline in the diesel tank, causing $8,000 in damage. The transportation coordinator was fired, rehired 2 weeks later when they couldn't find a replacement, then fired again for putting hydraulic fluid in the power steering reservoir. Number 7. The Insurance Nightmare Chronicles. By Season 3, no insurance company in California would cover the Power Wagons. The trucks had been in 42 documented accidents, 16 of which resulted in total losses. Lloyd's of London finally agreed to insure them for $2,000 per day, but only if the trucks never exceeded 35 miles per hour and were never driven by the actual actors. This created a problem since half the show involved the actors driving at high speeds. The producer's solution: they filmed in Mexico for 6 episodes where insurance requirements were more flexible. Mexican police shut down production twice for bribing officials, but the bribe to get production resumed was cheaper than California insurance. The insurance situation got so bad that they started writing episodes where Rick's truck was broken down or stolen just to avoid filming with it. Number 6. The Collector Car Apocalypse. Rick's Power Wagon is directly responsible for the destruction of some of the rarest cars in America. The show's limited budget meant they bought actually valuable classic cars for crash scenes because they were cheaper than replicas. A numbers-matching 1970 Plymouth Barracuda AAR worth $200,000 today rolled it off a cliff in Season 2. An authentic Shelby Cobra 289 T-boned by the Power Wagon in Season 4, completely destroying both vehicles. The most painful loss was a genuine 1969 Dodge Daytona Charger, one of only 503 ever made. They needed a car for Rick to chase, found one in rough condition for $8,000, and sent it into San Diego Bay. That same car sold at auction in 2022 for $3.2 million, if it hadn't been sitting on the ocean floor for 40 years. The Power Wagon itself survived every single one of these collisions, though they had to replace the frame 4 times. Number 5. The Forbidden Engine Swap. Here's something Chrysler doesn't want you to know. For the final season, Rick's Power Wagon was actually Ford-powered. After destroying yet another 360 engine doing a transmission fluid burnout, don't ask, the mechanics couldn't source a replacement Chrysler motor quickly enough. A crew member had a Ford 460 from a demolished F-250 and they made it fit with custom mounts and a torch. The swap was so janky that the engine sat 3 inches off-center, requiring a shortened drive shaft and custom exhaust routing. Dodge executives found out when someone noticed the Ford valve covers in a close-up shot. They threatened to sue for brand defamation until CBS lawyers pointed out that Dodge had refused to provide replacement parts when asked. The compromise? Digital effects painted over every Ford logo in post-production, costing more than buying 10 new engines would've. The 460 power truck was the fastest of all the Power Wagons, but also caught fire 3 times due to the fuel line routing past the exhaust headers. Number 4. The Deadly Desert Race. The most expensive single day in Simon & Simon history happened when they decided to film an off-road chase through the Mojave Desert without telling anyone they'd removed the truck's air filter. Within 20 minutes, the engine had sucked in so much sand that it seized solid at 70 miles per hour. The locked engine caused the rear wheels to stop instantly, sending the truck into a spectacular barrel roll captured by 3 cameras. The stunt driver walked away, but the truck was absolutely destroyed. Here's the insane part. They needed to finish the scene, so they helicopter lifted another Power Wagon from Los Angeles, landing it in the exact spot where the first one crashed. That truck's transmission exploded 2 hours later from heat exhaustion. They brought in a third truck by flatbed, which made it through the scene, but threw a rod on the drive home. Total cost for 1 day of filming: 3 trucks, 2 helicopters, 1 medevac, and approximately $400,000. The finished scene lasts 43 seconds in the episode. Number 3, the celebrity Joyride incidents. The Power Wagon became infamous around Hollywood for unauthorized celebrity joyrides that ended badly. Tom Selleck borrowed it during a Magnum PI crossover and crashed it into a catering truck, causing $20,000 in damage and ruining lunch for 200 crew members. John Travolta took it to In-N-Out Burger and got it stuck in the drive-thru, ripping off the entire menu board. The worst incident involved a very drunk Dennis Hopper who stole the truck from the Universal lot, led police on a chase through Beverly Hills, and finally crashed into a head sculpture at the Beverly Hills Hotel. The sculpture was of a swan. The Power Wagon's push bar decapitated it. The hotel still has the headless swan, which they now claim is modern art. NBC banned any non-cast member from driving the vehicles, a rule that stood until someone remembered that NBC didn't own the show, CBS did. Number 2, the impossible restoration. In 2015, a superfan tracked down what he believed was the original Hero truck and spent $300,000 on a full restoration. He documented everything on YouTube, gaining millions of views as he rebuilt every component to screen-accurate specifications. The paint was matched using spectrographic analysis of original film stock. The interior was recreated using surveillance photos from the Universal Archives. He even sourced an exact replacement for the dodgeball that Rick kept in the bed. After 2 years of work, he discovered through a VIN verification that he'd actually restored one of the stunt trucks. Specifically, the Frankenstein hybrid made from 3 different vehicles. The real Hero truck? It had been crushed in 1991 after being seized in a drug bust. The dealer who'd bought it at auction was using it to smuggle cocaine from Mexico, hiding packages inside the frame rails. DEA agents found 14 kilos during the raid. The truck was evidence for 2 years, then crushed without any documentation. The superfan still has his restored stunt truck, which is now worth more than an original would be because of the YouTube series. Before we reveal number 1, make sure to subscribe for more incredible TV vehicle histories, and comment below if you remember watching Rick tear through San Diego in that legendary Power Wagon. Number 1, the studio's dark secret. Universal Studios has been hiding the darkest secret about Rick's Power Wagon for 35 years, and it involves a death they've paid millions to keep quiet. During filming of the season 5 finale, a catastrophic brake failure sent the truck careening off a mountain road in Malibu. The stunt driver jumped clear, but the truck continued down the mountainside for another 300 feet before smashing into a campsite. A family of 4 was camping illegally in a restricted area that was supposed to be cleared for filming. The father was killed instantly. The mother and 2 children survived, but with life-altering injuries. Here's where it gets truly dark. Universal's lawyers argued that since the family was trespassing on closed land, the studio bore no responsibility. They were technically correct under California law, but the publicity would have been devastating. The studio paid the family $4 million for a non-disclosure agreement that's still in effect today. The incident appears nowhere in any production notes, insurance claims, or safety reports. Officially, it never happened. The truck involved was repaired and put back into service. It's the same one that appears in the final 3 episodes. The bloodstains on the push bar were painted over but are still visible in certain lighting if you know where to look. The family's names were redacted from all documents, but a private investigator claimed in 2019 that he'd identified them through camping permit records. Universal's legal team shut down his blog within hours. The surviving children would be in their 40s now, still bound by an NDA their mother signed when they were in elementary school. They can never talk about the night a flying red truck destroyed their family. The production assistant, who was supposed to clear that campsite before filming, he kept his job and was promoted to transportation coordinator by season 6. He retired with a full pension and Universal stock options worth $2 million. He lives in Malibu now, less than 5 miles from where the accident happened. Locals say he's never driven a truck since.